Welcome to Security Today, brought to you by Sprinter Business Solutions. Sprinter has a passion for technology with the calling card of the cleanest work environments in the low voltage industry, and Sprinter IT is who's sponsoring the Security Today podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Bear. That's Uncle BAER underscore on Instagram and X or Twitter or whatever they're calling it these days. I have a special podcast for you guys today. So if you're listening or you're tuning in, I hope you're tuning in on Spotify to catch the video podcast so you can watch this awesomeness along with listening to it. But we have a special podcast that is going to be highlighting Teknowledge Worldwide. Now, I'm sure for you guys, you hear me every week at the end of my podcast talk about Teknowledge Worldwide. I sit on the board of advisors over there. It's a non-for-profit. I won't get into it. I'll let these guys tell us. But I'm here today with Mick from Trican Security and Trish, who holds together Teknowledge Worldwide. I can guarantee that. I've seen it in action. But I'm here with them today, and we're going to be going over the most recent charity project that Teknowledge is putting out. And I've been so excited and proud and happy to follow along and watch it come from just an idea to fruition, and now it is just happening next month. But we will get into that today. So first of all, let me introduce my guest today on the podcast, Trisha. We'll start with you. So who are you and what do you do? And just tell me a little bit about how you got involved with TKW.
Yeah, so happy to be here. My name is Trisha Dixon. I'm actually an IT manager for a hospital system in South Jersey. I've been in IT in one form or another for about 20 years or so. I actually started my career out, when I first got into IT doing desktop support, terminating cables, phone management, stuff like that. And through a course of a couple of different career moves, ended up over here at Virtual Health doing application management. So I manage about 20 people or so, and we support our hospital EMR. So how I got involved with Teknowledge was through the Teknowledge president, Ray Klein. Ray and I have been friends for many, many years. We met when we were 20. Please don't do that math. And so he invited me to join Teknowledge right when I, first started a couple of years ago. And, ever since then, I've been kind of slowly more and more involved in the community. Back when I first got in, I was more of a lurker and watching you guys communicate. And slowly but surely, now I'm one of the tech advisors.
Awesome. Yep. And you have led projects in the past for Teknowledge Worldwide. And so just glad to have you here. Mick, what about you, man? Tell me a little bit about who you are. Now, we've had you on the Bid to Bank, so my listeners should already know who the Trican Gang Mick himself is. But why don't you give us a little synopsis and maybe how you got involved too? Maybe they don't know that backstory.
Sure. So Mick, I'm owner operator, Trican Security. We're out of Baltimore. Been running it for the past 5 years or so, doing this thing on my own. And I would say for Teknowledge Worldwide, how I got in was I was a member of other industry type of groups. And when I came across this one, I was just really interested because a lot of familiar names, guys that I had known and worked with in the past. One of them was Abe. I'd known Abe previously before TKW. He was a member, so I said, well, if Abe's in there, it must be good. So I got myself in there and quickly started to get involved, quickly started to just interact and help people, and it just kept, growing from there, right? The more I got involved, the more people wanted me to get involved, so it just kept snowballing into I sit as with Trisha on the Teknowledge Advisory Committee, so we're helping to kind of steer where the organization is going, and I like the direction we've been in, and I like the direction we're taking, and we're doing big things.
Yeah, we are doing big things. So I want to take kind of the first half of this podcast to just kind of explain and give TKW the highlight And then the last half, we'll talk definitely about the mission fit. I see it behind you there, the charity project that we're doing this fall. So the first thing I want to ask is just, Trisha, can you kind of explain to me like what TKW is? Because I rep it every single week on the podcast, but I don't know that I've ever like done an in-depth detail of exactly what TKW is.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, to start off, we're primarily an online community. That's first and foremost. But really, the purpose behind Teknowledge is to bring like-minded, like businesses and individuals like me together. We want to share knowledge. We want to teach each other by example, and most importantly, we absolutely want to make impactful changes in all of our communities through philanthropy. So we look, that's our mission, that's our goal. Our one of our mottos is community over competition. So it's bringing in all of these folks from different areas of IT and bringing them into safe spaces where they can talk and collaborate and get advice, whether it's business advice or advice on how to handle an install. These guys really come together in this online space to collaborate. And then that online collaboration really translates into the real world. These guys are working together, setting up jobs together. There's such great collaboration when these guys get together, and put their minds together. So, it's a welcoming space for all areas of technology to come in and just find your peer group and lean on each other.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you are not kidding when you say all areas of technology. I mean, guys are in there 3D printing and doing access control and working on the back end of IT and all sorts of things. I wanted to ask is like, as a more aberrated or like maybe unusual role within the community, because women are, coming into the industry and growing, and I've seen some awesome groups promoting that and building it up, and you're taking more of that percentage back, you know what I'm saying? But what does TKW mean to you, as you've seen it on your journey of being a part of it?
Yeah, so I work in a different line of IT from a lot of the people in the community, right? But I also have that history and I have that background, so I'm super happy to be in the community. And you're absolutely right. There is not a whole lot of women in technology, and when TKW was first founded, one of the reasons why Ray reached out to me was to say, we want to make sure we're being inclusive. We want women in this community, and we have that. Of course, your numbers might be a little lopsided, but that's our goal, is to really be all inclusive. So for me, being a part of a community that is, wants to be inclusive is really, really special. And I've made a lot of good friends, through our charity projects and, other events. So to me, it's just a really nice place for people to come together, and super happy to be a part of it.
Awesome. And so I guess I want to direct that question at you too also, Mick. What has Teknowledge Worldwide been to you in your adventure with it?
Yeah, it's been a lot of different things to me, right? And it fills a lot of voids that I had. I would say in the business aspect, right? It increased my capacity, because now there are things that I can do with the help of the community that I wasn't able to do previously, right? Perfect example, Jeff from Better Days Technology,
Our
him and
boy.
I teamed up, and we, won a nice contract that I wouldn't be able to get without his help. And probably vice versa, right? So we both brought something to the table, and we wound up doing something special. So I think, it definitely increases my capacity. It broadened my horizons. I've always said I've never been like the absolute best structured cabler. And I've gotten opportunities to, travel the country and work alongside some of, guys that are just absolute monsters in the cabling industry. I mean, they just crush structured cabling. So you get a chance to, see what they do, how they work, work alongside them. So it's just really been great in terms of, increasing my capacity, increasing my skill level. If there are things that I get into that I don't know, I know the community is at my fingertips, right? I can whip out my phone, I can ask that question, I could get half a dozen answers, and it's a very broad range. I mean, we've got superstars in cybersecurity, access control, Wi-Fi network design, MSP work, Microsoft Office, just whatever technology you're having trouble with, there's somebody there that can kind of lend some experience, lend some help. And I will say on a personal side, like I've made some really strong relationships with the people in the community. Obviously, more than just business. I mean, some of these people, if I'm having a bad day, I'll call them. So that's the kind of relationship, and the whole aspect of giving back just really kind of, it brings me full circle, because I think that we all have these special gifts. We may have different gifts, but we all have these very special gifts. We're good at something. There's something we're really good at, and it feels really good to be able to give that back. And Teknowledge gives us an avenue for lending your expertise and taking that special gift that you have, that skill that you have, and being able to apply it to something and see the fruits of that, and give it to some kind of organization and watch them flourish from what you could have given them.
Yeah. Your experience, I feel, is like a great example of the community over competition aspect. And I just want to highlight for those people who are listening, because I didn't want them just to run over what you just said, but it's not unusual or uncommon that somebody like you with a business would be able to work alongside other members in TKW and travel all over the country to get jobs done and to help each other out. And sometimes it's an easy thing to tagline as hashtag community over competition. And there's other communities that'll have, hashtags or say like, this is what we're about. But I've never been a part of something where it has shown itself to truly be about what it's saying it is about. And yeah, you and other guys like Jeff Day, and I know Rob from Redefined Solutions, and obviously Ray Klein and Pierce and some of the founders, they really show up and show out, get out there and put those things in. And that kind of leads to some of what TKW does. So one thing that TKW has done in the past and is doing now is something that is coined as Tex-giving, something that falls in the fall around Thanksgiving. And so, Tricia, what exactly is Tex-giving? And can you give us kind of a synopsis of the ones that have happened and the ones we're at now?
Yeah, so I'm super happy to talk about Thanksgiving. So this is like our flagship event that we're hosting every year. And so what Thanksgiving is an opportunity for TKW to make a difference in their community. And because we're Teknowledge worldwide, it can really be anywhere in the world. Now, traditionally, we've stayed sort of local to the Philadelphia region. But now this year, we are expanding to Baltimore. We're going to Mission Fit. So Tex-giving itself, like I said, is that opportunity for us to pull our resources together and say, how can we help an organization? We choose an organization based on their mission, their values. Does it reflect what we want to promote, and are they doing good in their community? So they don't necessarily have to be a not-for-profit or a nonprofit, but we want to make sure that we're choosing a recipient who is doing good in the community. So what we do is what the community does best. They look at how we can upgrade technologies for this organization to improve their mission. So for Mission Fit, what we're doing is we're really modernizing this gym, upgrading security and wireless, and providing some really cool things that they can do for the kids that they serve in the Baltimore area. So it's really, really exciting to be doing it and to be getting out of the Philadelphia region and traveling to Baltimore. And what Teknowledge does is, when I say it brings the full force of the community to bring this together, not just TKW members, but vendors and suppliers to help donate equipment and material. And on top of that, when we call for volunteers, who's gonna wire this location, right? Who's hanging that AP? We get such a huge response. As a matter of fact, we probably have around 30 people already who are going to be on site. It gives them a great opportunity to learn from each other. So maybe some of those structured cabling guys can, hang out with Mick and say, show me how you're installing this security system. Show me how you're, installing this lock on the door. So it's really good opportunity for guys in the industry to get exposure to those areas that they don't normally get exposure to.
I love that you highlighted that, because the last Thanksgiving that we did was a church called Baraka Church out of the Philadelphia area, and that's actually where I was blessed enough to get to travel there and meet Mick and meet you and meet Jeff Day and Ray and all of them. And it definitely was almost like a master class environment that you could like rotate stations, like blind dating. Like it would just be like, okay, now come over here and do this. And you'd be working with someone who does it every day, and you could see how they put it in and do this and that and the other. And then you would walk over here and see, someone cutting in a strike, or someone hanging a network rack, or someone, putting in an AP or running structured cable. It is fantastic to be on site when all of the community comes together and puts that in. So just to clarify for listeners, it is people within the community that volunteer to show up and give their time and their labor to install and update technology for the chosen participant of that year's Thanksgiving. Where do some of the funds come from that supply the finances to get the equipment to put that in?
Mick, do you want to take that?
Yeah, I'll take that. So it's a multi-pronged approach, right? So we have great vendors within the community, great vendors who make great products, things that the community members are using on a daily basis, and they are part of our community. So when we have these jobs, we kind of put together a list of, well, what is it going to take to get this job done? And then we put together that list, and we go through that list and we say, okay, if I have a vendor that supplies cable, well, let me call them up. Hey, would you like to sponsor the cable for this event? And we have awesome vendors, and they show up. I mean, we are covered. Whatever they make, they've pretty much promised to us. And that's just the strength of our vendor partners, that they are behind us. So if we need a piece or a part that they make, they got our backs. So that's step one, right? Going to our vendors. Now, our vendors don't make everything in the world. They're really good at what they make, and they give that to us. And then the second part of that is, going to our community members. Hey, do you have a spare one of these laying around? Or, do you have extra stock of this item or that item? So that's the other part of it. And then we have our community steps up. The community gets involved and they start donating. And then the last piece of the puzzle is cash. So we accept donations, and we usually put a number on it that we think we might need this much money to fund the event. And that's the final part of it is, we take donations of cash. We had a page running, still have it running, donate.teknowledge.org, and we'll accept cash. And so the things we can't get donated, either through sponsors or within the community, we get the cash for it, and then we pay for it with cash. So that's our approach to, funding these things. And I just want to make a note that, these guys and girls who show up are doing it on their own dime, right? They're showing up on their own dime. They're paying their own flight, their own hotel, and whatever other expenses that they have. They're paying out of their own pocket just to be there, to donate their time on top of that. So I don't want people to miss that part of it. I mean, that's how deep the commitment is among our community. They will spend their own money just to keep being there, being a part of it, and help it succeed. We raise money within the community. Most of our funds are raised within the members of the community. We don't have a lot of people throwing us money. But what we do get, we make the most of it because we throw our own labor into it, because we bring some parts and pieces that we may have lying around, and we put our own cash behind it. I mean, I think eventually one day somebody with deep pockets is going to say, I want to make sure these guys can do more of what they're doing. They can do more, and they kind of fund us. But for now, it's majority of community self-funded. So the same people you speak to in Slack every day are the same people sending materials, are the same people showing up and pulling cable, terminating racks. I mean, so it's just a beautiful thing to see these people like really step up and carry the flag and show that philanthropy, like live that philanthropy.
And I just want to add to that, the Teknowledge Worldwide is a 501c3 organization, so the donations are tax deductible. That actually just happened in the spring this year, which was huge for our community because it really just puts that legitimacy behind what we're doing.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just amazing to watch, and it's amazing to see it come together. It's amazing to participate in it, and just know that I'm just highlighting what you were saying, Mick, that it's the people volunteering, it's the people donating, and it's the people giving their time to put it in. So that's awesome. Can you tell me a couple of the vendors that TKW has? Because Security Today podcast is not bought, so we get to say whoever it is. You know, we can say names and say who's helping out.
Sure. I'll give off a few, and you're putting me on the spot because if I miss one, I'm gonna get killed.
Hold on. I can bring it up too, maybe.
I can tell you this: Certified Connections is definitely helping us. Cable and Connections, they're just a huge supporter of our events. Huge supporter. Vertical Cable, another huge supporter. This year we got Pro Data Key. They are on board. They want to help. Trend Networks, another big supporter.
Mm-hmm.
This year is a new one, and I just announced it to the team today. Asa Abloy is getting involved. Asa Abloy is actually sponsoring the hardware for our event. I mean, that's a big deal. They're no small fish.
They're a giant, yeah.
And we really want to make the best of it because this is the first year that they've gotten on board with us, and we want to really show them that, hey, you gave us these pieces and look what we did with them. We made something great, and we brought something valuable to another nonprofit organization that is really doing good in the community. So we really want to show off, this year. We definitely want to show off. I know there's more vendors, and I'm gonna get you for putting me on the spot like this because I know I'm gonna leave someone off.
Hey, no, you're good. They can go to teknowledge.org, which is teknowledge.org/vendors, and they can see all the trusted partners that interact with Teknowledge Worldwide. Everybody from Epson to Eaton to DoorJam, and a whole bunch of them. So go check that out. And now I'm off the hook, huh?
Well, you just saved me because you named 4 that I missed. So
yeah.
And I know there's more, and I apologize to our vendors.
No.
I wasn't ready for the pop quiz.
Yeah. No, that's good. So, Mick, can you kind of give us a rundown then of the who, what, where of what is going on, and maybe when too,
Sure.
of this year's 2023 recipient I see back there?
So the recipient is Mission Fit. They are a youth gym in inner city Baltimore. They've been, I think it was 8 years, they said, they've been operating. It is a bare bones kind of place, and we are looking to bring them the most that we can. So the event is October 20th through the 22nd, and we'll be there for those 3 days. We are flying all these guys in. They're going to get to work Friday morning, and we're going to work through until it's all done. If you're interested and you want to learn a new skill or pick up new tools for the tool bag, there will be 20-something techs on site, all of them, lending their expertise. If you want to, the last text giving, I really wanted to sit with some of the structured guys and really polish my skills on how that's done and the way that they do it, just to make me more efficient. So it's a great learning experience. There's going to be a lot of people doing a lot of different skills. So definitely show up if you're interested, if you want to learn, if you want to just be a part of it. I mean, just come and meet us. That's all I'm saying. Just come and meet us, see what we're doing, be a part of it if you can. It's in Baltimore. It's October 20th through the 22nd, and we'd love to see new members there and meet people, and even meet people that may have only been interacting with us through the Slack, and now it's time to shake some hands.
Awesome. Well, that is so good to hear. I'm reading my notes to see which way I'm going on it. But yeah, so Mission Fit, and you can check them out on LinkedIn. I know that they're posting a bunch of stuff over there with Teknowledge Worldwide. Teknowledge Worldwide is on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on YouTube, and you can DM or fill out from the website at teknowledge.org to get involved with the Slack channel, which Mick had mentioned that prior, but that's where a lot of the communication happens. It's, if you don't know what Slack is, it's like a forum that you get on your phone or your computer, and you can talk in a bunch of different chat rooms about a bunch of different things. So that's awesome. So that's October 20th through the 22nd, right?
Yep.
And we'll be putting in a technology package for Mission Fit. Awesome. Well, I want to, let's see here. I want to talk about one last thing before we wrap up the podcast, and I'm gonna actually throw my hat in the ring too. So this will be a question for all of us, but we'll start with you, Trisha. I just want to know kind of a little bit of a synopsis, a little bit of clarity of maybe what is the most prominent thing that you feel that you've received from being part of a community like this?
So for me, I think the most prominent thing it's really a mix between the friendships I've gained and the exposure that I've gained to different areas of IT. Having been removed from the low voltage side of IT for a long time, I love being in the Slack community and following conversations about structured cabling and wireless. It's so educational for me as somebody who wants to stay up on technology, even if my day job isn't quite the same as a lot of the folks in there. So I'm gaining knowledge, and you can't put a value on that. But then aside from that, like I said, really developing really good friendships with these guys. I mean, that's something that's irreplaceable as well.
Awesome. What about you, Mick?
I would say it's one word: support. Right. I know that there are people in the community that would have my back. I know that there's a handful of them that I could call and they would be on the next thing smoking in Baltimore by the end of the day, right? So that's valuable. That's extremely valuable. I mean, it's priceless, right? And I know that there are people that I would call who would jump on their laptop and solve whatever, computer issue that I happen to have, no matter where they are. So having that level of support, it's like, it just helps me in all aspects, right? I mean, it helps me for my personal life because I get more free time because I'm not breaking my head against something that I should probably have never taken on in the first place, or just knowing that I have these people behind me now.
Well, if it's not a testament to exactly what you can gain from joining the Teknowledge Worldwide community, my answer is also the genuine community. Right there alongside of your guys' answers, I like you said, Trisha, I've genuinely gained friends. I think I actually have more friends that are national now than I do in my own city, So it has been a blessing to get to know some people. And you're right, Mick, like that support is there. You can hop on, ask a question, and sometimes within seconds it's being answered or talked about. And and everybody is is very friendly, and contacts are given out, and people share information. And so you can even text them on the side, or they can get on that FaceTime with you to help you, kind of figure out what you're dealing with. Finding products. I know that I've been like, hey, there's this type of thing. It's like a visor that goes on this camera. Did anybody know what that is? And people can be like, yeah, I got one in the truck, So that is super cool. And just recently, I feel like adding to that, something that I really feel I'm receiving and gaining from the community is being a part of this kind of, I keep saying this, but I'm trying to coin it, but this new genre of philanthropy. And for a long time, I have devoted my time as I was growing up. I grew up like in a church environment, so we would go out, we would give food, we would help build shelters in certain places and stuff like that. But to see this genre of philanthropy where the community is giving technology as the gift, as the ad or the build, is just something that I actually don't think it exists right now on the level that TKW is doing it. So it's been a pleasure to watch and be a part of. And if anybody's listening and you want to be a part of this community, maybe give us a rundown, Mick, where they can find us. I know it's been said a couple times, but
Sure.
one more.
Before I give you that, I was had a talking to Chuck Bowser recently, and I was telling him the same thing. Right? It's like if we were good at baking, we'd be handing out bread.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're not. We're good at technology, so that's what we're giving out. We're giving out technology. We're sharing that skill with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want to reach out, Teknowledge WW, TEKNOWLEDGE WW is the Instagram page. That's probably the quickest way to start interacting. You'll see various things from IG lives to posts to products to all kinds of things that we're just showcasing. And we're also on LinkedIn as Teknowledge Worldwide.
Awesome. And I always do this for all of my guests that I come on the podcast, but where can they find if they want to interact with you guys? Because they just listen to you for a half hour, and they might be like, oh, I have a question for that person. So where can they find you, Trisha, if you want to start?
Sure, no problem. So you can definitely find me on LinkedIn. So it's just Tricia, TRICIA 0711 on LinkedIn.
Awesome. And Mick?
The best way to find me is on Instagram. I have a LinkedIn, but Instagram is probably the best way. And I actually enjoy taking questions from people and trying to help them. So feel free to hit me up. It's Trican Security, TRICAN Security.
On Instagram. Oh, yeah. And I'll be linking all of that in the show notes, and I'll be putting this out there to link it. And I'm going to reach out to Ray to see if I can't do a little bit of Security Today TKW intro where maybe we post it on the TKW YouTube also, and just get this show out there. If you want to donate, you can go to teknowledge.org and you can donate there, and all donations go to the things that we're doing in philanthropy. So it's building the community and it's pushing us out there. So even if you hear this after October 22nd, 2023, please don't think that that's the stop to give donations or to help out or to join the community. So we'd love to have real hardworking, technology-driven people in there that are just honest and living the life where they want to give and give what they know how to make, whether that's bread or technology. But I really appreciate you guys coming on here and giving your time today. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to the podcast, and it means a lot to TKW. And hopefully this can get out there and people can donate and support. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Bear.
Great, thanks.
We'll talk to you later.